Most men will never hear what you're about to hear because it threatens the version of masculinity they've been sold their entire lives. If you've ever wondered why some older men become invisible with age, while others grow more magnetic, more desired, and more respected by younger women, stay with me. This isn't about money, it isn't about looks, and it definitely isn't about trying to compete with younger men. In fact, the moment you try to compete, you lose. What I'm about to share will challenge almost everything you believe about attraction, power, and aging as a man. It will make some people uncomfortable because it exposes the quiet habits that separate men who are tolerated from men who are deeply desired. And once you understand this, you can't unsee it. You'll start noticing it in every room, every interaction, every relationship. You'll see why some men speak less but are listened to more. Why some men don't chase attention yet always seem to have it. Why younger women feel drawn to certain older men in ways they can't logically explain, and why those men never seem surprised by it. This isn't a motivational fantasy. It's psychology, it's behavioral truth, and it's rooted in something most men never develop: internal authority. By the end of this video, you'll understand why attraction has almost nothing to do with age, and everything to do with how a man carries himself when no one is watching. You'll learn the habits that quietly shift power in your favor, the mindset that removes desperation from your energy, and the reason the most attractive men never try to look younger. If you've ever felt overlooked, underestimated, or unsure of where you stand as a man, this may be the most important conversation you listen to all year. Stay until the end, because what you hear there won't just change how others see you. It will change how you see yourself. Most men believe attraction begins with appearance. They think if they dress younger, train harder, earn more, or keep up with trends, they'll remain desirable. But that belief comes from insecurity, not understanding. Attraction doesn't begin with how you look. It begins with how you arrive. The room notices you before your words do. Your presence speaks long before your mouth opens. And this is where older men either lose everything or quietly win without trying. Presence is not loud. It's not aggressive. It's not performative. Presence is the felt sense that a man is settled inside himself, that he is not scanning the room for approval, that he is not waiting to be noticed. Younger women especially are extremely sensitive to this. Not consciously, but psychologically. They can feel when a man is trying too hard to be seen, and they can feel when a man is already complete. The attractive older man does not rush. He doesn't move with urgency. He doesn't speak to fill silence. He allows pauses, and those pauses do something powerful. They create tension, not anxiety. Tension, the kind that pulls attention inward. Silence, when held by a grounded man, becomes magnetic. It signals confidence without announcement. It says, I am not afraid of space. Younger women live in a world of constant stimulation, notifications, opinions, emotional volatility, men who over-explain and overexpose themselves. In that environment, a man who is calm feels almost shocking. His stillness interrupts their nervous system, and when the nervous system pauses, curiosity emerges. Curiosity is the beginning of desire. Presence also means being internally aligned. The attractive older man is not fragmented. His words match his energy. His actions match his values. There is no desperation leaking through his posture or tone. He is not trying to impress, because impressing comes from a belief that you are not enough. Instead, he allows people to discover him. Discovery is far more seductive than display. This is why presence cannot be faked. You can rehearse lines, you can copy confidence, but you cannot counterfeit inner stability. Younger women, particularly emotionally intelligent ones, sense incongruence immediately. They don't always know why something feels off, but they know when it does. And the man who tries to appear youthful without having depth beneath it feels hollow, like an echo with no source. An older man with presence accepts his age without apology. He does not attempt to erase time, he integrates it. His experiences are not worn like armor or bragged about as trophies. They exist quietly beneath the surface, giving weight to his words. When he speaks, he doesn't need volume. He has gravity. Presence is also about attention. The attractive older man does not scatter his focus. When he listens fully. When he speaks deliberately. That level of attentiveness feels rare because it is rare, and rarity heightens value. When a younger woman realizes she has a man's full attention, not because he is desperate, but because he is selective, it creates a subtle psychological shift. She feels chosen without being chased. Most men misunderstand this and think attraction is about intensity. It's not. It's about containment. Emotional containment. Physical containment. The ability to hold energy without spilling it everywhere. Presence is the container that holds masculinity in a composed, controlled form. And control, not dominance but self-mastery, is deeply attractive. The older man who has presence doesn't mirror youthful chaos. He stabilizes it. He doesn't try to match moods or escalate emotions. He remains steady. That steadiness communicates safety, and safety allows desire to deepen rather than burn out quickly. Excitement without grounding creates anxiety. Grounding without boredom creates trust, and trust allows attraction to last. Presence also means being comfortable with being misunderstood. The attractive older man does not rush to correct perceptions. He does not explain himself to gain approval. He allows others to project, to wonder, to question. This ambiguity fuels interest. Certainty is comforting, but mystery is engaging. And presence balances both. Enough clarity to feel grounded, enough mystery to remain intriguing. Notice how this changes the dynamic completely. The man is no longer asking, "Do you like me?" His energy says, "This is who I am." That subtle shift removes neediness from the equation, and when neediness disappears, attraction has room to breathe. Presence is felt in posture, pacing, and tone. The attractive older man does not lean forward emotionally. He does not invade space. He does not force connection. He allows it to unfold. This patience signals confidence in abundance. It tells the world he is not afraid of losing attention because he knows his value is not dependent on being chosen in every moment. Younger women are drawn to men who make them feel calmer, not more confused. Presence calms, it regulates, it reassures without reassurance. And that calm is intoxicating in a culture addicted to noise. This is why presence is not something you add. It's something you remove things to reveal. You remove insecurity. You remove performance. You remove the urgency to be validated. What remains is grounded masculinity, quiet, stable, and unmistakable. And here is the truth that ties everything together. Presence is not about age. It's about internal order. A young man with presence is rare. An older man without it is invisible. Time alone does not create attraction. Integration does. When a man stops trying to look younger and starts becoming more whole, something changes. His energy settles. His movements slow. His words carry weight. And without saying much at all, he becomes memorable. So reflect on this. If you walked into a room today and said nothing, would your presence still be felt? Because when a man learns to stand firmly in himself, attraction stops being something he pursues and becomes something that naturally finds him. Most men believe attraction is created through emotional intensity. They think reacting quickly, expressing everything they feel, or showing how much they care will make them more desirable. In reality, the opposite is true. Emotional control, not emotional expression, is what separates attractive men from forgettable ones. And older men who understand this gain an advantage that no amount of youth can compete with. Emotional control does not mean emotional coldness. It does not mean shutting down, suppressing feelings, or becoming detached from humanity. It means mastery. It means the ability to experience emotion without being ruled by it. And psychologically, that is one of the most powerful signals a man can send. Younger women are constantly surrounded by emotional volatility. Men who react too fast, men who take things personally, men who argue, explain, justify, and chase emotional reassurance. Over time, this creates fatigue. So when a woman encounters a man who can stay calm when emotions rise, it feels different at a nervous system level. Her body relaxes before her mind even understands why. The attractive older man does not get pulled into emotional chaos. If there is tension, he does not escalate it. If there is silence, he does not rush to fill it. If there is uncertainty, he does not panic. He understands that not every emotion requires a response. Sometimes the most powerful response is steadiness. This steadiness creates safety, and safety is often misunderstood. People think safety is boring, but psychologically, safety is what allows desire to deepen rather than burn out. Excitement without safety creates anxiety. Safety without excitement creates stagnation. Emotional control allows a man to hold both at once. When a man reacts emotionally, he gives away power. He reveals that his inner state is dependent on someone else's behavior. The attractive older man does not hand over that authority. His emotions belong to him. He chooses when and how to express them. That choice is what creates respect. Notice how this changes interactions. If a younger woman is emotional, reactive, or uncertain, the controlled man does not mirror it. He grounds it. His calm becomes the reference point. Over time, people unconsciously regulate themselves around those who are emotionally stable. This is not manipulation. It is leadership. Leadership is attractive. Emotional control also means not chasing clarity. Many men panic when things are ambiguous. They demand answers. They push for definitions. They seek reassurance, but urgency signals insecurity. The attractive older man understands that clarity arrives naturally when pressure is removed. He allows things to unfold at their own pace. This patience communicates abundance. It says, "I am not afraid of outcomes." And when a man is not afraid of outcomes, he becomes unpredictable in the best way. He is no longer driven by fear of loss, and freedom from fear is magnetic. Another critical aspect of emotional control is how a man handles disagreement. The unattractive man argues to win. The attractive man listens to understand. He does not need to dominate emotionally to feel secure. His confidence is not threatened by differing opinions. That emotional resilience creates trust. Younger women are especially sensitive to emotional instability because they often experience it so frequently. A man who remains composed under pressure feels like a safe harbor, and safe harbors are rare. Emotional control is also visible in how a man handles rejection or distance. The unattractive man collapses inward or lashes outward. He takes it personally. The attractive older man absorbs it with dignity. He does not chase. He does not retaliate. He does not withdraw into bitterness. He continues moving forward. That response alone elevates him above most men. Why? Because it shows self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of attractiveness. A man who respects himself does not beg for emotional access. He offers it selectively. Emotional control also prevents overexposure. Many men overshare too early, revealing fears, insecurities, and wounds before trust has been built. Vulnerability without containment feels unsafe. The attractive older man understands timing. He reveals depth gradually, not because he is hiding, but because he is discerning. This discernment makes his emotional world feel valuable rather than overwhelming. There is also something deeply attractive about a man who can tolerate discomfort, who does not immediately try to escape awkwardness, silence, or tension. That tolerance signals inner strength. It says, "I can handle complexity." And complexity is far more engaging than simplicity. Emotionally controlled men are not boring. They are composed, and composition allows passion to be directed rather than spilled. This is where many men misunderstand attraction. They think being emotionally expressive is the same as being emotionally available. It's not. Availability without regulation becomes burden. Regulation without coldness becomes leadership. And leadership is deeply appealing. The attractive older man understands that his emotional state sets the tone. If he is calm, the interaction calms. If he is grounded, the connection deepens. He does not outsource his emotional regulation to others. He takes responsibility for it. This responsibility creates reliability, and reliability builds trust faster than charm ever could. Here is the deeper philosophical truth beneath all of this. Emotional control is a sign of inner order. When a man has internal order, he becomes a stabilizing force in a chaotic world. People naturally gravitate towards stability. This is not about being perfect, it is about being consistent. It is about responding instead of reacting, choosing instead of compulsively expressing, leading yourself before attempting to lead anyone else. And when a man masters this, something shifts. He no longer needs to prove strength. His calm demonstrates it. He no longer needs to demand respect. His presence commands it. So reflect on this carefully. The next time emotion rises, pause, notice it, contain it. Choose your response, because the man who controls his emotions does not just become attractive, he becomes unshakable. Most men believe attraction is something you create in interaction. They think it's about saying the right thing, being charming at the right moment, or doing enough to be noticed. But attraction is not created in moments. It is created in structure. It is the byproduct of a life that is moving somewhere. And this is where purpose changes everything. A man with purpose does not chase attention because his attention is already occupied. His life has direction. His days have weight. His energy is invested in something larger than validation. And psychologically, that does something powerful. It reorders the dynamic. Instead of asking to be seen, he becomes someone worth seeing. Younger women are instinctively drawn to men who are going somewhere, not because of status alone, but because direction signals competence. Competence signals safety. And safety, again, is what allows attraction to deepen. A man without purpose feels emotionally needy, even if he tries to hide it. A man with purpose feels full, even in silence. Purpose is not about ambition in the superficial sense. It is not about bragging, hustling, or announcing goals. Real purpose is quiet. It is lived, not advertised. It shows up in discipline, consistency, and self-respect. The attractive older man does not speak endlessly about what he plans to do. He is already doing it. This is why younger women often feel more drawn to older men who are grounded in their work, values, or craft. There is an ease to them. They are not frantic. They are not proving. They are not trying to extract meaning from relationships alone. They already have meaning, and relationships become an addition, not a substitute. A man without purpose unconsciously asks a woman to give his life meaning. That is an impossible burden. A man with purpose invites a woman into a life that already has shape. That invitation feels exciting rather than heavy. Purpose also creates boundaries. When a man knows where he is going, he knows what does not belong. He does not overextend himself emotionally. He does not sacrifice his direction for temporary validation. He understands opportunity cost, and this restraint is attractive because it signals self-trust. Many men mistake availability for devotion, but unlimited availability often signals emptiness. The attractive older man is available in presence, not in excess. He values his time because he values his life, and when someone values their life, others begin to value them too. Purpose also stabilizes identity. A man anchored in purpose is not easily shaken by opinions, rejection, or uncertainty. His sense of self does not fluctuate based on who is watching. That consistency creates emotional safety. People know what they are getting, and predictability in character, not behavior, is deeply reassuring. This does not mean rigidity. It means coherence. The man with purpose can adapt without losing himself. He can change direction without losing integrity. That flexibility within structure is compelling. It shows maturity. Younger women, especially those with emotional depth, are not impressed by surface confidence. They are drawn to men whose lives have continuity, men whose past, present, and future feel connected. Purpose creates that continuity. There is also something deeply attractive about a man who does not need a relationship to feel whole. He desires connection, but he does not depend on it. That difference is subtle but profound. Desire invites, dependence pressures. Purpose removes pressure from relationships and replaces it with choice. This is why men with purpose often feel less anxious in dating. They are not auditioning. They are assessing. They are not trying to be accepted. They are deciding alignment. And that shift in mindset changes everything. Purpose also shapes how a man speaks. His words are grounded. He does not exaggerate. He does not overpromise. He does not perform intelligence. He speaks from experience. And experience carries authority that theory never can. Younger women can sense when a man's confidence is borrowed versus earned. Borrowed confidence collapses under challenge. Earned confidence remains stable. Purpose is what earns confidence over time. Another critical aspect is that purpose creates momentum. Momentum is attractive because it signals life force. A man moving forward energetically pulls others into his orbit. He becomes a center of gravity. And gravity does not chase, it draws. This is where many men misunderstand attraction and try to make women the center of their world. The attractive older man does the opposite. He builds a world worth entering. And those who enter feel privileged, not responsible. Purpose also protects a man from emotional overinvestment too early. When his life is rich, he does not cling. He can enjoy connection without gripping it. That relaxed enjoyment feels safe, playful, and confident. There is also a philosophical layer to this. Purpose gives suffering meaning. It allows a man to carry hardship without becoming bitter. And bitterness is one of the fastest attraction killers. A man who has integrated struggle into growth carries depth without heaviness. Younger women often respond to this depth because it feels real, not performative, not polished, but lived, and lived wisdom cannot be faked. Purpose is not something you find once and hold forever. It evolves. But the act of choosing direction, again and again, is what matters. That choice shapes character, and character is the true source of attraction. So here is the reflection to leave with you. If your life had no audience, would you still respect the way you are living it? Because when a man builds a life he respects, he stops asking to be desired and starts being naturally chosen. Most men are taught that desire is something you chase, that if you want connection, attraction, or intimacy, you must pursue it relentlessly. But this belief quietly weakens men over time, because the truth is not that desire responds to effort. Desire responds to self-sufficiency. And this is where detachment becomes power. Detachment is often misunderstood. People think it means being cold, indifferent, or emotionally unavailable. That is not detachment. That is avoidance. True detachment is emotional independence. It is the ability to want without needing, to care without clinging, to be open without being dependent. And psychologically, that distinction changes everything. Attractive older men understand something most men never learn: need repels, while choice attracts. The moment a man needs validation, reassurance, or attention to feel whole, he hands his power away. His emotional state becomes dependent on someone else's response. And that dependency is felt immediately, even if it is never spoken. Younger women are especially sensitive to this, not because they analyze it logically, but because they experience it emotionally. A man who needs something from them creates pressure. A man who chooses them creates desire. Pressure contracts, desire expands. The detached man is not indifferent, he is present. But his presence is rooted in self-respect rather than fear of loss. He knows that connection is valuable, but not essential to his identity. This is why detachment feels calm rather than distant. There is no urgency in it, no grasping, no emotional negotiation. When a man is detached, he does not chase outcomes. He allows outcomes. He engages fully, but he is not attached to how things must unfold. This makes his energy lighter. And lightness is attractive because it feels safe. Most men believe they must prove their value continuously. They over-explain. They overgive. They overstay. The detached older man does none of this. He understands that value does not increase with repetition. It increases with selectivity. Selectivity communicates standards. Standards communicate self-worth, and self-worth is magnetic. Detachment also means being willing to walk away without resentment. This is one of the most powerful signals a man can send. Not walking away to punish, not walking away dramatically, but walking away peacefully when alignment is missing. That calm exit communicates abundance. It says, I trust myself to find what fits. Men who cannot walk away reveal scarcity. Men who can walk away reveal strength. Younger women notice this even if they cannot articulate it. A man who stays despite disrespect, confusion, or misalignment feels unsafe, not because he is kind, but because he lacks boundaries. Boundaries are not walls. They are signals of self-respect, and self-respect invites respect from others. Detachment also creates mystery. When a man is not constantly available, not constantly explaining himself, not constantly seeking reassurance, space emerges. And space allows imagination. Imagination fuels attraction far more than certainty ever could. The detached man does not rush intimacy. He allows it to grow organically. He understands that intensity without foundation burns quickly. He prefers depth over speed. This patience signals maturity, and maturity is deeply attractive, especially to younger women who are tired of emotional volatility. Another important aspect of detachment is emotional containment. The detached man does not dump his emotional world onto others. He shares selectively. He understands timing. He does not use intimacy as a place to offload unresolved pain. That restraint creates safety. This does not mean he lacks depth. It means he respects it. Detachment also protects a man from being reactive. When things do not go his way, he does not collapse or lash out. He observes, he adjusts, he remains anchored. This emotional stability creates trust. And trust is the soil in which attraction can actually grow. Many men confuse attachment with loyalty, but loyalty chosen freely is powerful. Loyalty demanded through emotional dependence is suffocating. The detached man allows others to choose him freely, and choice is what makes connection meaningful. Detachment also shifts the power dynamic subtly. The man is no longer negotiating his worth, he is simply living it. He is not asking, am I enough? His behavior says, this is who I am. And that certainty is calming. Younger women often test men unconsciously, not out of cruelty, but to see how grounded they are. The attached man reacts emotionally to tests. The detached man remains steady. He does not try to win approval. He does not take things personally. That composure passes the test without effort. Detachment is also about trusting yourself, trusting your ability to be alone, trusting your ability to rebuild, trusting that loss will not destroy you. When a man truly trusts himself, he stops bargaining for connection. He stops tolerating less than alignment. This is why detachment is not something you pretend. It is something you earn through inner work, through building a life that feels full, through developing emotional resilience, through learning to sit with discomfort without running from it. The detached older man does not need to dominate. He does not need to control. Control comes from fear. Detachment comes from security. And security is far more attractive than control. There is also a philosophical truth here. Attachment is rooted in fear of impermanence. Detachment accepts impermanence without becoming nihilistic. It allows a man to enjoy moments fully without trying to freeze them. That presence is rare, and rarity creates value. The man who is detached is not passive. He is intentional. He chooses connection deliberately. He invests where there is mutuality. He withdraws when there is imbalance. This clarity simplifies relationships, and simplicity feels peaceful. In the end, detachment is not about distancing yourself from others. It is about coming home to yourself. When a man is rooted in himself, he becomes someone others feel safe approaching, not responsible for stabilizing. So here is the reflection to sit with. Can you desire without depending, care without clinging, and walk away without bitterness? Because the moment a man no longer needs to be chosen, he becomes the one others instinctively want to keep.